Brilliance Audio presents How the South Won the Civil War, Oligarchy, Democracy, and the Continuing Fight for the Soul of America by Heather Cox Richardson, performed by the author. The moment in July 1964 when Arizona Senator Barry Goldwater took the stage at the Cow Palace outside San Francisco and beamed at the cheering Republicans who had just nominated him for president is iconic, but not for the reasons we remember. Goldwater delivered the line that became a rally cry for a rising generation of conservatives in the Republican Party, saying that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice, and moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue. But the moment did much more than galvanize activists. It marked the resurrection of an old political movement by a modern political party. In Goldwater's time, people claiming to be embattled holdouts defending American liberty called themselves movement conservatives. A century before, their predecessors had called themselves Confederates. While Goldwater's supporters in 1964 talked generally about liberty, their actual complaint was specific. The business regulation and social welfare legislation of FDR's New Deal and Eisenhower's Middle Way had trampled their rights. In the wake of the Great Depression, the U.S. government had focused on creating economic security and equality of opportunity. These widely popular policies became known as the liberal consensus because most Americans agreed that government should protect the country's most vulnerable citizens and regulate the economy. Movement conservatives, however, maintained that the liberal consensus was destroying America. People should be free to operate however they wished, without interference from government bureaucrats and regulations. They hated that the government had taken on popular projects since the 1930s. Highways, dams, power plants, schools, hospitals, and social welfare legislation cost tax dollars. This, they warned, amounted to a redistribution of wealth from hardworking white men to the poor, often to poor people of color. Such a dangerous trend toward an activist government had to be stopped before it destroyed the liberty on which America was based. Although Goldwater was a Westerner through and through, it was the delegation from South Carolina that put him over the top to win the 1964 Republican presidential nomination. This was no accident. Movement conservatives embraced the same ideas that a century before had led South Carolina slave owners to attack the United States government. Like elite slaveholders before the Civil War, they believed in a world defined by hierarchies, where most people, dull, uneducated, black, female, weak, or poor, needed the guidance of their betters. In turn, the wealth those lesser people produced as they labored at menial work would funnel upward to the top of society, accumulating in the hands of those who had the knowledge and skills to use it most effectively. Those educated, wealthy, and connected men would create progress. In 1858, a slaveholder put it this way: the upper class should rest on the lower classes the same way a stately edifice rested on mudsills, timbers driven into the ground for support. That mudsill vision of the world stood against a very different set of principles that lay at the heart of American democracy: equality and self-determination. Those who embraced this vision believed that society moved forward because self-reliant individuals produced and innovated far more effectively than a small group of elites, whose wealth insulated them from the need to experiment. These two ideologies were incompatible, yet they were woven together into the fabric of America from its start.